The number one compliment I get on my art is the color and lighting. Neon lighting, bi-lighting, cyberpunk lighting, whatever you want to call it. Basically, I'm a for dramatics. I blame early exposure to Baroque art, probably. Also Blade Runner, that's a big one. Anyway, here's a quick and dirty rundown of how I create that dramatic neon look. I'm starting with line art. My style has pretty crisp and smooth lines, but you can use whatever the hell you want. I fill in with flat color, true color, not like shaded or toned in any way. This part is super quick. Just use the magic wand tool in Photoshop. Once the flats are done, we move on to shading. I don't get too crazy with this part. I choose a lighter color and just do basic cell shading with the lasso tool, or reverse cell shading. I've been told this is strange, but I prefer to fill in the light rather than the shadows. I mostly just use the lasso and fill in with gradients. It's super quick, it's easy, but sometimes I'll go in with a brush and clean up any harsh edges. I am not one of those artists who can sit and work on something for like 4, 5, 6 hours on end. I have to get it done quick. So I'm always going to choose a method that takes the least time. So now we're getting into the dramatic territory. Create a new layer, name it hard light, and set the blending mode to hard light. Make sure it's above your coloring layers or coloring folder. Then set it as a clipping mask. That way it's only affecting the character colors and not the background colors. How do I pick the right color? Okay. I usually try to pick something that falls in the middle range of hue, tone, and saturation. And if I don't like it, I just play around and change it. Here's the best part. I make a layer above the hard light layer and go in with any neon color of my choosing. Usually I go for a hot pink or a cyan or sometimes like a neon lime green. And then I shade in a completely different light source than the first shading. I know it's not super accurate, but let me tell you, I pretty much exist off vibes alone. And of course, the more dramatic here, the better. I love a good floor light source. I love a good harsh side light. Even a backlight is good. Once that's filled in, set that layer to screen. It might be too much, so adjust it as needed. Also, I should say, if you have more than one character in a scene, you may have to adjust both the hard light and the screen layers, especially if the characters have different skin tones. These filters affect different colors in different ways, so you're going to have to adjust depending on skin tone. For example, Danya on the left has a darker skin tone, so for the hard light layer, I have to make it a bit more saturated in order for it to look good. And for the screen layer, I'm making it slightly darker so it doesn't look too harsh. And then Jensen on the right is extremely pale, so for the hard light layer, I have to make it a bit lighter and more saturated so that it shows up at all. And for the screen layer, I make it more saturated again so that it shows up vibrant. Now I'm just adding a background. This is one I have used 40,000 times. Just making the colors match, and yeah. Once I like how the shading and lighting looks, I will copy the entire picture and paste it above all the layers. Then I added Gaussian blur on it, maybe around like 20%, and then set the opacity of that to 20%. I also sometimes add a noise layer if I'm feeling super spicy. I just make a mid-tone gray layer, add noise, and set it to soft light. Kind of makes it feel warm and nostalgic. Anyway, hope that was helpful. Like I said, I'm literally just vibing most of the time, so please keep your comments about how inaccurate this is to yourself. I appreciate it. Oh, and read my comic on Webtoon. It's super gay. Thanks, love you, bye.